Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
What a day. Busy hour. 15 minutes from now, Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of Circa Las Vegas in studio. He's got a suite for AC/DC on Saturday night here in Las Vegas. He's giving away 2 tickets to join him in his suite. Details on that coming up. In Pocket plays our best bets, bottom of the hour. Rich Gannon will be awesome on these quarterbacks. And I don't know, what are the Raiders going to do at number 6? He's coming up in 45 minutes. Thank you to Christian for alerting us to this. Jeff Howe, who covers the NFL nationally for The Athletic. Jacksonville has been actively trying to move up from number 5 per a source. They could be interested in moving up as high as number 2. So that is, I know that's been out there, right? Other people have suggested that there was one team at least hot and heavy for Travis Hunter. People were kind of speculating, well, that would make sense to be the Dallas Cowboys. I thought that would also make a lot of sense, but how the hell are they going to move from number 12 to number 2 without mortgaging, the future? 5-2 is much easier to handle, much more palatable. Would the Browns be interested there to move back to 5? And if so, then what are they in the market for?
That'd be a mistake. Even if you can get a haul, just take Hunter. Stay at 2 and take Hunter.
Do you think Tennessee should take Hunter?
Yes.
So do I. I would actually love to see that tonight. With the first pick overall in the draft, Tennessee shocking the world. Travis Hunter's our guy. Tight-lipped.
Huh?
Tight-lipped a lot of it.
All right. We got we have Dart minus 230 to be the second quarterback selected.
What was he at the start of the show?
He was a small favorite.
$1.30.
When I woke up this morning, Sanders was like $1.75. And Sanders was $2 while we were on the air yesterday.
Well, that ties into the number of quarterbacks taken in the first round.
I think Dart was $1.30 when we.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Before the show, so up to $2.30, up to $2.20 in that range now.
This has also been moving. Total quarterback selected in round number 1, 2.5. Over is now minus 225. The under again yesterday was minus 105. Now that's plus 170 at DraftKings. So this whole idea that Dart is absolutely going to go in the first round, the Giants are in love with him. I don't think I can't imagine they're going to do it at 3. Right. And somebody's been who like tied into the Giants.
No chance. Yep.
Okay. I believe that, right? So let's say they go Carter at 3.
He's minus 2,000 now.
Yeah. And then the Giants would trade back in to get Dart. But how high would that go? Again, because his position's been all over the map here, fluctuating between 21.5 and like 25.5 at some spots.
Exact order is now minus 220.
Okay.
And I'm still sticking to it. The draft starts at 6. Genty goes 5th. The question is what team? And now you're actually seeing it come down now. Genty to the Bears was as high as $2. Now it's minus 175.
Minus 175.
Yep.
Okay. Because this also came out in the last 24 hours. Todd McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, Lance Zierlein, and Dane Brugler all mocked Kelvin Banks to the Raiders at number 6. So they're obviously tied in. They've been good at this for a long time. But if they're right with that, does that mean that the draft doesn't start until... I don't want that. I don't want to know the first 6 picks. I want bedlam. Yeah. I want chaos here.
Well, who knows? We got the eyeball emoji. Maybe that Raiders trying to do something. You want to get nuts? I'll get nuts. I think the Raiders, the eyeball emoji is the Raiders are going to try to trade for Tyreek Hill. Banks plus 125, okay. But remember, was it last year where all those guys late had the offensive line thing? It was people were Alt was sliding and what the Chargers were going to do.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be much ado about nothing.
No, that's exactly right.
Because and guys we respected, and it was wrong.
No, because I was strong on Harbaugh going offensive line, And that was one of the best results that I had last year in the draft, was all going number 5 overall to the Chargers. Thank God that one came in because I lost a lot of other bets.
Right. But the steam late was it was going to be somebody else.
No, you're correct with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all the stuff has changed in the last 48 hours. The bank stuff was not happening. To number 6. What was he to go number 6 2 days ago?
And the steam has really picked up for the Jets to go Warren at 7.
That I can buy. I'll get into that. Is that a little bit too high, though, for a tight end? Bowers went 13th last year. Warren's good. But how many guys are actually Brock Bowers good? I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
But that might be the theme of this year's draft class anyway, is, well, you don't think a running back's, should ever go that high? Well, the draft evidently is not exactly loaded. I keep hearing this, by the way. The first offensive lineman this year off the board would have been like 5 or 6 last year.
Yep.
The first receiver, either McMillan or Golden, would have been starting at number 6 last year. The first quarterback would have been probably 6th last year. Maybe Ward would have been like 6th. So we were all stunned last year again when Penix went 8th. Who had that?
Good point.
They signed Cousins.
Kept that a secret, no doubt.
Absolutely. Like, nobody knew that the Falcons were to take Michael Penix.
Bowers, Penix, no doubt.
Maybe that's the Raiders tonight at 6 with the eyeball emoji going Shedeur Sanders.
And I think you could see some surprise at 10. And assuming there's not a trade, what happens at 10? McMillan down to 3-1. But then if you're taking Warren out of play, if he goes 7 to the Jets, if Banks is gone and he goes to the Raiders, you can get Loveland at plus 650. I could see them doing that too.
Yeah, or do they go, what's Graham to go 10th overall?
Plus 750.
Another good one. Big numbers right
because
there.
Because that also goes back to, he was 5.5 over minus 150. Circa moved it to 350. And now DraftKings has put Graham at 8.5 now. And he could go, that could be a free fall too. He could go 13. He could go past Miami. Who knows how far that guy falls. Mm-hmm. But that's not bad too. Plus 750 to go 10.
Yeah,
how about Nolan? I've seen that mocked. I've seen him 10-11. He's 18-1 to go 10.
Yeah, I saw him, McShay had him 8th overall the other day. And also we got a tweet earlier from somebody in the Pittsburgh area who said, if Nolan's on the board at number 21, they will sprint to the podium with the pick. It doesn't matter if Sanders is on the board or not. Nolan will be the pick for Pittsburgh if he's there at number 21 overall. Some books offer live betting on this, I think maybe globally, but got to be ahead of it by like 2 picks. Maybe something to file away with that.
They took... Oh, there it is. All right. Sanders to go to Pittsburgh minus 160. That's come down. Dart to the Giants minus 130.
Okay. Because all the stuff earlier in the week was Jalen Walker was absolutely a top 10 pick. Mykel Williams was absolutely a top 10 pick.
You don't think he's going 8? Walker's going 8. You don't think so?
I mean, if this stuff happens...
I'm not saying trades because it screws everything up.
Of course it does, right.
I'm going to say no trades. Walker goes 8.
If Graham is there at 8, are we sure Walker's going to be the pick? I don't know. That's something to ponder if you're sitting there at number 8 in your Carolina. Because Graham all along was going to go to Jacksonville at number 4. And he was thought of as the best defensive lineman in the draft, other than Abdul Carter. So... Mykel Williams was plus 750 to go top 10 last week, I believe. Dropped to plus 350 on Sunday.
Seen him 11. All right.
But he was odds on to go 10 overall or top 10. Just to go top 10, he was odds on. But if some of this stuff breaks like people are assuming it is, that's probably not going to get there, unless that's going to be the Saints pick at number 9. But what if Graham goes 8 and then Walker's on the board for the Saints at number 9? It's going to be a domino here effect. Genty keeps moving under 6.5. Should we just here's easy money, right? Just at every sports book that you have, lay it with Genty to be the first running back taken. You're going to start the draft off by winning money. Paul, you will.
That's a bigger price than will OKC win the series against Memphis.
But give me the scenario tonight. Genty has to pull the Laramie Tunsil bong mask video.
Oh, he still goes.
Then he might.
Still goes, yeah.
Like lay in mind.
He could be on the freeway with AC Collins. I think he still goes.
calling into Al Michaels, gun in my head.
Juice, toss the gun, Juice.
I will tell you this. I did not have access to the sports book. Earlier this week, Genty was minus 5,000 to go as the first running back overall. Everybody else had a minus 20,000. Minus 5,000 was a steal.
Okay.
Absolute steal. Yeah. I can't even, that's going to happen. So put it this way. I know people who have done this during drafts every year. It goes all the way back to the Trevor Lawrence one, even one before that. The guy showed me his ticket. Offshore, he put 70,000 to win 2,000 on Lawrence to be first overall. He's like, I'm starting it off with the winner.
Yep. I saw the same ticket.
Yeah, because he bet it at minus 3,500. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a steep price. He goes, I'm going to be a winner.
Well, it's like the national anthem discussion. When the person does the national anthem and they clock it, and she sings it, and it's 1 minute and 58 seconds, and they put out 2:03 and change. You got the information, how much you're going to go on the under.
Right.
But strange things can happen. A couple, they change the words.
Oh, I know. A
couple Braves, and you're screwed.
Did they grade it with the one Brave or the two Braves? Uh-huh. Does McMillan absolutely go ahead of Golden, first receiver taken?
I'm not sure about that either.
Because he's getting priced like it's...
I know. That's another good one. And for the exact, if you want to put him at number 5, that pays 7-1. If he would go 5th. So Ward, Hunter, Carter, Campbell, Genty. And then the fun starts. And probably Banks, which I know you're pissed off about. But I'm not certain that McMillan's even the first wide receiver goes. And again, we've seen him everywhere marked from 5 to 19.
Yeah, just because I want fun to happen tonight, I want Jacksonville to trade up to number 2. Well, I would prefer the Cowboys to trade up, but that's not going to happen, I don't think. Jacksonville to trade up to number 2, take Hunter, and then the Broncos trade up super high to take Genty. That's what I want to see. I don't want to know the top 5 picks. I hope that these mock drafters are wrong. Top 6. Personally speaking, Derek Stevens on the program coming up next has a suite at AC/DC this weekend here in Las Vegas, giving away a pair of 2 to sit with him and watch. Find out how next.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. Draft starting hour, 45 minutes from right now. The owner and CEO of Circa Las Vegas, Derek Stevens, joining us here on draft night. Good to see you as always. How are you?
Good. Good to see you guys.
All right, where are you going to hang out and watch a draft tonight?
I'm going to be in my spot here in the sports book, but I'm going to pop in and out depending upon how things go. You're up at... You're at Stadium Swim.
Yep.
I'm going to pop up to Cabana 21 to see what's cooking up there.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be hanging around. You know, it's a great night of sports. Obviously, NFL draft is the big news, but we got basketball and hockey tonight. We're going to be packed. It should be fun.
It's super active tonight. I mean, tons of games, along with not a full baseball card, but some decent games on the schedule as well. Do you guys, you mentioned this the other day, so Nevada makes, and you're in 5 states overall, Nevada makes every sports book take down draft props 24 hours before it starts. So yesterday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, that's it, no more.
Right.
Of the states that you're in outside of Nevada, can you keep it up until now or during the draft?
Every state has a different reg.
Okay.
So taking it down 24 hours, that's a Nevada gaming reg. I believe on the states that I'm aware of, the state that's the most liberal is Colorado, and I think you only have to take it off there just shortly before each pick. So it's by pick.
Really?
At least it was last year. Now,
wow.
maybe something changed this year. We knew we were gonna when we took Nevada down, we were gonna take it down. We weren't gonna mess around with today. It just didn't make sense for us to dedicate all the guys in the back to try to do what you guys are doing. I mean,
Sure.
these rumors today have been going crazy
All over.
Yeah.
So can you repost like tomorrow for round 2 here in Las Vegas or no?
I don't believe.
I don't think so. Okay.
No,
All
no.
right.
It's the draft is an event that started and it ended. No, it's got to be off 24 hours. So by the time
whole
this
thing
ends,
does.
so the next round, So the answer, to my knowledge, is no.
What do you want the Lions to do?
I kind of like getting this offensive lineman from North Dakota. Kind of like that.
Okay.
I'm interested to see how. I like what they're doing with their corners and their safeties. They're locking up some defense, and with Ben Johnson now in the NFC North, with now as a competitor with the Bears, they're going to have a lot of creativity on the Bears. You got to deal with Justin Jefferson on Minnesota. I mean, that's a lot of offense you got to go against. And then I'm sure Green Bay's gonna make some. So I kind of like the fact that they've locked up some defensive players.
I think we're all rooting for the same thing here. And you asked a question before you sat down about any big trades. This just came down from Ian Rappaport. The Texans, Broncos, and Jags want to move up, and the Panthers, Dolphins, Bucks, and Seahawks want to move back. And if something could happen here before we get off the air,
wait, Jags want to move up?
Yeah, there's a lot of steam here where they're trying to come up.
They might be the team that really has coveted Travis Hunter.
Aha. Okay, so they're gonna. Because I'm trying to understand. Help me out on all this steam you got on Ashton Genty here going under.
Yeah, because evidently, the thought is that they would take him at 5 if they don't trade up. I don't think the Raiders take him, to be honest, if he's there at number 6.
Then there was that smoke going around for a couple hours that the Bears would trade a 5 and take him.
The Bears were minus 180 to take him earlier today.
It's 180.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
This is crazy.
Yep. How about the dart stuff?
Yeah.
Dart. Yesterday on the air, Sanders was minus $2. Then he was $1. Now Dart is minus $2.30 to be the second quarterback selected, and he's a minus 135 to go to the Giants.
Yeah.
And then he came down to 9-1 to go top 5.
Hey, how do you guys like watching all these old videos of draft day with the quarterbacks, and then all the girlfriends being very excited? These things don't age well.
No,
they're funny.
The Russell Wilson one is
my favorite one ever was CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, I know. Give me the phone back. What are you
so
doing?
good.
Oh, boy.
So good. By the way, you know what? Is this a terrible admission, or am I onto something here? I've never watched the movie Draft Day.
Really?
Yeah. There's no way it's good. It looks absolutely horrible.
Really?
Oh, my God.
That's not bad.
The only way it would be good to me is because my expectations are so rock bottom. Do you like it?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I actually, I actually love the draft. I've loved the draft since, since the 1970s. But since been in this racket here, I've started to not like the draft because I don't like booking it because you can't win. I got the full assessment today. Mike Palmas told me he's on 7 interviews today so far.
Uh-huh.
I go, Mike, what's your party line? I want to make sure we're kind of aligned here. He goes, yeah, the whole thing is, if we can lose 33,000. I go, okay, well, that's not bad. If we win all 21 positions we need, we make 1,800. I go, okay, 1,800, lose 33,000. It's a lot better than in years past, but it's ridiculous.
Not a fan. Okay, excellent.
We make a lot of donations to the community and everything. Why do we got to do that at this?
Yeah. Well, how about tell us about the news here? And we just tweeted it out, and Circa tweeted it out as well about this giveaway and how you can win sweet tickets to AC/DC. This is incredible.
I was thinking about you guys today. I got my assistant. I go, hey, let's send over these tickets. I bought this suite at Allegiant back, 6 months ago or whenever it came out. And I always thought in my mind we had 18 tickets. So I'm going, Nicole's going. We got another couple casino hosts going. Mm-hmm. And then we took all these big players are flying into town to go to AC/DC with us. So then today, when we look at the app, guess what? It's 20 tickets. It's like win some.
No doubt.
Perfect.
Yes.
I got 2 extras. So what are we going to do? So I thought, well, let's get creative. This is going to be, let's see who can leave a memorable video to explain why they want to go. Like for me, if I was doing it, I would say, I would be honest, I'd say my very first concert I ever went to was AC/DC at Cobo Hall in Detroit, Michigan. I was underage. This is back in the day when you could have 4 guys, 4 kids, and you all say you're staying out at the other guy's house overnight. That was like the first time we did that. There were so many elements that came together. So AC/DC was my first concert, and I'll never forget it. I'm excited to go back. You know,
I would have laid $1.80. You would have said Kiss.
Oh,
did you see Kiss?
No, I never.
You've never seen Kiss?
I never saw Kiss.
Wow. Okay.
No, I saw AC/DC as my first concert.
And you were how old?
I'm thinking like 14 or 15.
That's
or so.
awesome.
I know I couldn't drive because I know we all were all ready to go. We're all sneaking out of the house. Okay, we'll see. We'll see it. You know, see you, Mom, Dad. We're all like kind of like, really? They're letting us go? And then we had to walk down like 4 or 5 blocks because we had to catch the bus to downtown. So we had to make sure we had our change to take the bus down there. I mean, none of us could drive.
Yeah, that's a great story. So you want people here, the 2 tickets that are available at Circa Las Vegas on X, Instagram, all of it. Where? What?
You know, I don't do my own Instagram. I follow X.
So you want to do it's not got to be on X.
I would.
Okay.
You know, this is kind of undefined. We kind of made this up
cool,
on the fly. I'm looking. Basically, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a couple of people that want to have a lot of fun and go sit in a suite at Allegiant because they love AC/DC. And we're going to take our whole Circa Las Vegas crew. So I figured
if it's a good video, you'll find it.
I would rather do this. This is far a much better, use of capital for our society than this crazy draft stuff.
All right, so go find Derek's tweet on X at Derek Stevens. He just put it up not that long ago. Make the video if you want to go check it out, and you might be a winner. It's a hell of a gesture to put out there. This is a very tough ticket to get.
Yeah, it's crazy. The ticket price, I couldn't believe it. I'm actually paying for the suite myself because I'm so embarrassed. I'm too embarrassed to run it by accounting here. I'm not even going to run this on the company. The ticket prices, these ticket prices are crazy. The only 3rd time they played here since 2000.
Write it down.
Nobody's listening here from marketing or accounting. So can you just say it on the air? No, I promise nobody's going to listen.
I'll let Paul. Yeah.
Oh boy, that's your big boy. Okay, incredible. So that it doesn't end there, and you have the all-in package at Circa, the ultimate getaway, $400. You get a 2-night stay at Circa, $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit, and a day bed at Stadium Swim, where the party never stops. All for $400. Limited time offer between May 26th and September 4th. Lock it in now. The all-in summer package, circalasvegas.com. All-in package, circalasvegas.com. 2 nights, $100 dining, $100 beverage, and a day bed at Stadium Swim. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's our version to try to keep the economy going here.
Very good
value.
Smart move. You come to Stadium Swim once, and you're going to tell yourself, I need to do that on a yearly basis or multiple times every year. Like today, we're going to go out there with John Ruffino, who bought the package.
Yep.
Pauly and I are going to go hang with him for the draft. It is a picture-perfect day here, as it almost always is in Las Vegas. And tonight's going to be phenomenal.
Great. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys up there. Hey, before I jump off, you think my Pistons got a shot tonight?
Absolutely.
Oh, God, yes.
I think they win the series.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Really?
But the one concern would be that the kids are too jacked up, though.
Okay.
You've been talking about a 14-win team, and then you triple your win total, and now you got a home playoff game here, and you're coming off your first playoff win since 2000. Haven't won a playoff game since 2008.
I know.
Until they won game 2, but I think they can win the series yet.
Hope Francis never saw a Piston victory in the playoffs.
Think about that. I mean, it's a bad matchup for the Knicks. I think it's a bad matchup for the Knickerbockers. I really do. Yeah. All right, Derek, thank you. Enjoy the draft.
All right.
In Pocket Plays, what we're betting next here on Follow the Money is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
Love that movie. And love Bobby Fairley as well. All right, 3-0 last night. Hero over 2.5 made threes. Beat Cavs over again. Ice cream. And a Magic plus 10.5. Did you see the play they ran there? They're down 11, and they run the cover play. They dump it down to Banchero. He lays it in to put it on 9 with 5 seconds.
No, I gave up on the game.
Oh, that was incredible. They're down 11. Who runs that play? They're down 11 with 10 seconds. They dump it down to the big guy and they let him lay it in. Then on the flip side, I got Miami down 7 with 3 seconds and they're fouling. I mean, you never see that in the NBA.
Oh, that's actually a good sign if you want to keep betting that series to go over the total.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it going. I think that's 5-6 in a row. Kings to win the series plus 110, pending. Up and now minus 450 against Edmonton. Pistons to win the series 2-1. Blues tonight. I think they make it a 2-1 series against the Jets. Better place probably under 5.5. But I think the Blues saved their season, at least for the time being. And this has moved 20 cents. I like Ottawa tonight. They're now $1.30. I know you got the sweater on. I don't think the Leafs have led a series 3-0 since 2001, if I read that right today. But Ottawa outplayed them in the last game. The comeback could be that Toronto sat on the lead after they got the 2-0 lead, and the 2 goals were fluky by Ottawa. But I think first home playoff game since 2017, I think Ottawa gets it done. And they win tonight. Right back with this. I don't understand this at all. So what are they watching? So during the season, the Cavs were number 8 in defense. I'll tell you where I'm going with the future as well. I am so disappointed in their defense in this series. They lose that game. They blow that 19-point lead if Mitchell doesn't save them. The shots he made on those back-to-back-to-back possessions, and that he takes the rainbow 2, he hits the 3 from the parking lot, and then hits a 3 from Curryland to put the baby to bed. It is so stupid that there is one guy that can hurt you, and it's hero op screens, and they can't solve it.
Yeah, and by the way, anytime now, Evan Mobley might win Defensive Player of the Year. And what I've been saying to you now for 2 months, they got to give it to a big guy in theory, right? Who they are rendered useless in today's basketball when you have great perimeter play.
Yeah.
I don't understand that theory. We're not living in 1994. It doesn't have to be Hakeem Olajuwon or David Robinson every single year. It's a totally different ballgame. Perimeter players on defense are much more important than they once were. And if Mobley wins that award tonight, it's just going to be a complete mockery of the award yet again. They have no idea what they're doing. I will say this. The way the Cavaliers played in the first half, that's why they can win the East.
Well, the second quarter was nuts.
The offense is just so elite.
Yeah. I can't believe those shots he made down the stretch. So, all 5 Miami-Cleveland games have gone over. And they put up a 215 and they bet it down again. I don't get it. That's Saturday morning. T-Wolves money line tomorrow night. They'll be rocking in Minneapolis. As a result of how the Cavs have struggled on a defense, how about the Pistons to win the East at 19-1?
The Pacers, you mean?
The Pacers. My fault. The Pacers. Because you also have this, for whatever reason, Orlando keeps doing weird stuff and getting hurt and hurting people. And you got Porzingis taking the elbow to the face. You got Horford getting tripped up, and they already hurt Tatum. I think Indiana can give Cleveland a great series in the next round. And then who knows what happens with Boston if they're hobbled and maybe something happens to Tatum. I don't think 19-1's that bad.
That's actually probably better. Is that going to be better than a rollover parlay?
I don't know. That's a good point.
It might be.
Yeah. I don't know what the price. What do you make? I was thinking about it. Is it $2, 180? What are the Cavs? 180? Is it that high?
I think it might be a little bit higher than that, but also don't forget the Pacers have been one of the best teams in basketball for months now.
Kings to win the Stanley Cup 10-1. I've seen enough. They're 5-1 against Edmonton. They are 18-4 since the deadline with a plus 46 goal differential. They're great defensively. Kemper had an awesome year, and now they're scoring. Now, they've been handed a lot of goals by Edmonton, but also it's how this bracket could open up. Everyone loved Colorado. They're down 2-1. Oh, Vegas. Okay. Vegas might be down 2-1 after tonight. Kings 10-1 to win the cup.
All right. Good job, Pauly. Nice roll. Also with you last night, Teller Hero over 2.5 made threes. That was a winner. So that one's been graded. We move on. Pending. Barron under 18.5 plus 150 tonight. I honestly have no idea where he's going to go at this point. Golden first receiver drafted 2-1. That looked great late last week. Doesn't look great today. Dolphins first drafted position, offensive line plus 120. No idea what's going to happen. Packers first drafted position, wide receiver. I actually like this one more than when I bet it at 6-1. And Barron first defensive back drafted without Travis Hunter plus 120. I feel pretty good about that one, actually. Tonight had to do this. Grizzlies, again, not even a handicap of the game whatsoever, just a number grab or numbers grab. First half, plus 6.5, minus 144. Bet that at Boyd here in Las Vegas. Also, that's FanDuel. Other spots have 3.5 in the first half. O'Neal Cruz to hit a home run, half a unit, plus 375 tonight. Nationals money line minus 110. That is moved, and this was a winner earlier today. The Royals on the run line minus 120. I did not expect that out of Cole Reagans.
Oh.
He was terrible, and the Rockies roughed him up, but I did expect that out of Marquez. And he was worse than Reagans, and the offense got enough runs there to cover the run line of 1-7-4, so that was a winner.
2-0 in the fifth. If this holds, Colorado would be 1-14 on the road.
Yeah, that's something to figure. But they're but here's the thing, right? I mean, they're heavily. It's juiced every single day, big time. The Royals are not even a good baseball team, right? And they're laying like 280 today in that game overall. Yeah. So what is it going to be when they actually go on the road and take on a good club? Reagans is really good. Wasn't today, but like what are they when they go play at New York and it's Max Fried on the mound?
Everyone loves the betting splits. Get up there now with the VSiN Pro subscription. August 1st, only $59. DraftKings and Circa. Circa takes sharp action. It started today. VSiN.com/subscribe. Is the breaking news? Is the cat out of the bag here?
It appears to be. So Pete Carroll, he used to do this with the Seahawks all the time when he would put clues up on X on who the team would take. So he has tweeted out twice so far. I want to make sure that he has no more clues. But the original tweet was Will Smith, and it was with a magnifying glass going like this, that popular GIF that's on X. So people have said two different things, one of which is, well, Will Smith was with the Banks family on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He
Good.
Then,
very good,
a half an hour after that, tweeted out a scene in the show The Office, which I still am blown away that you've never watched, but it's a Texas standoff. Banks went to Texas.
Okay.
Banks is now minus 160 to go sixth overall. This also seems like it's way too easy because everybody
minus 750 under 13.5 now too. But
really, God, he was.
Well, I mean that makes that's right. Those are the answers to the clues.
Right. The Twitter detectives or X detectives, they picked it up just like that.
Uh-huh.
Like you're not going to throw any TV show references by me. Not on my watch. I'll pick up everything is what, like our buddy Adam Hill, he knew what it was immediately because he's watched The Office like 10 times. He knew instantaneously that's a Texas standoff.
Okay. Well, Fresh Prince one's tough. Was it Die Hard 3? Simon Says? Got that in the park? You got John McClane on the run with Samuel L. Jackson? You got to stop the bomb? It was great.
I think was it 4? I'm getting my Die Hards mixed up now.
2 was at the airport.
2 was at the airport.
3 was in New York, and then they started off the movie where he's got to wear the sign.
But,
oh boy!
Based on that, now look, Banks minus 165. Before Pete Carroll started tweeting this stuff out, he was plus 115. So now, does the draft start at 7?
Draft starts at 7, Mitch. And Warren is now plus 150 to go to the Jets.
Is that okay? So the draft starts at 8.
It doesn't.
There's no way
because Walker's going 8.
Right. I refuse to believe this. So it just starts at 9. The NFL is not happy with this.
No.
They do not want people to know the first 6 or 7 picks of the Banks just went to minus 185.
Wow. That's why I stand by all this stuff earlier in the day was manufactured in a media creation. Because you're right, the league doesn't like this. And they hated what Schefter did that one year.
Yeah.
They want surprises. They want the drama. And I think it's going to go to form in the first 8 picks.
Well, they want it to be a television product is what they want. And they want people to tune in the entire time and no spoilers. Nothing on social media. Yeah. That happened for a couple of years where the picks were coming in. Woj, by the way, did that with the NBA draft forever too. On social media, they would have the picks 20, 30 minutes in advance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, this is no fun.
Dart 24.5 under minus 250. $1.35 to go to the Giants. And
2.5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, is he still minus 230 for second quarterback selected? think he's like 220 in that range. With
All
that
right, we'll get the thoughts on Jackson Dart
Yep.
and Shedeur Sanders from Rich Gannon coming up next, former league MVP. And is it a foregone conclusion? Are the Raiders taking Banks, the offensive lineman? We'll ask him here on VSiN.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Draft day, it starts in an hour and 15 minutes, and former league MVP Rich Gannon joins the program now on the Progressive Guest Line. Rich, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Guys, I'm doing well. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. Okay, so let's get your thoughts on the two quarterbacks overall, what you were hearing, your own opinions as well. Jackson Dart, where he might end up going, Shedeur Sanders as well. Do you think both of those quarterbacks get drafted tonight?
Oh, I think so. I just don't know where. You know, you hear so much speculation about all these quarterbacks, but particularly the last 48 hours on Shedeur Sanders. And, you know, I think people have different opinions. It's no different than most players in the draft. Some players are more excited about the particular player. Some players, some teams have more concerns. Look, I don't know that there's a quarterback in this draft class that's ready to step in and play week one. I think this is a little bit different class than what we saw last year. But I think when you look at Shedeur Sanders, there's some things to like. I mean, a couple impressive seasons at Jackson State before transferring to Colorado. Obviously, he knows what it's like. He's been around the game his entire life. He knows what success looks like. He's been coached hard. It's not easy playing for your dad, but, you know, you look at his body of work, there's some really good things there. Now, I would say, like all these quarterbacks in this draft class, he's going to need the right system, the staff, the team around him to really, I think, reach his full potential. But there's times where you can see he's impatient, he's overly aggressive. I think he needs to learn, you know, some footwork things. He gets really deep at times in his drop and puts a lot of stress on the tackles. You know, some footwork in the run game shows up, and some, you know, tendency, I think, you know, to get a little bit lazy in the pocket. So, but there's a lot of good things there. You know, I think when you look at his completion percentage last year, I think he led the FBS by completing a school record 74%. Jackson Dart is another guy. I think, you know, he's benefited from the fact that I think he was coached in a pro-style offense by Lane Kiffin at Mississippi, and I think he's a very talented prospect. He's spent a lot of time with some people that I'm very familiar with, including John Gruden. Is a guy that transferred, you know, after starting his career at USC. I think he really probably had his best season last year. But, you know, you look at his body of work, there's a lot of good things to like there. 3-year starter. You know, the quarterbacks that I like, you know, you think about Anthony Richardson was a 1-year starter. I like quarterbacks that have played a lot of college football. You know what I mean? And I think you look at Bo Nix last year. This kid played a lot of ball. 3-year starter. We saw improvement in his play and production each season. You know, at Mississippi, and I think, you know, he won't overwhelm you with his arm talent. He's very accurate. He seems willing to work through the progressions. Better velocity, I think, when he throws the ball between the numbers. But another really talented player that, you know, given the right situation, I think can really flourish into a really solid player.
There's a lot of smoke with him going to the Giants. How do you think that fit is, and does that make sense considering they just signed Winston and Wilson?
When I look at the Giants, I look at their quarter with Winston and Wilson. I still feel it's unresolved. I think the same thing can be said for the Jets in the long picture. I think Cleveland's in that situation. I think Pittsburgh, obviously. I think Tennessee, New Orleans. I think all these teams are going to look long and hard at the quarterback position. And it may not be in the first round, but it may be at some point circling back. I think they have some placeholders in place when you look at the Jets and Giants, and, you know, the Browns just signed Joe Flacco. You know, I think, you know, Pittsburgh there's a lot of speculation about where will Aaron Rodgers wind up. I think all those teams will be looking long and hard at how this draft class unfolds when it comes to the quarterback position.
Right. Where do you think Genti eventually lands? Is it going to be 5? Reports are saying Jacksonville wants to trade up to number 2 to take Travis Hunter. At that point, who knows what the hell would happen? Are you hearing anything about the Bears maybe moving up to make a deal for him? They were like minus 180 to draft him earlier today, Rich.
Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he winds up in a silver and black uniform. I mean, there's a couple players in this draft. Tyler Warren's one of them. I think Ashton Genty, Abdul Carter. These are guys that I think will make an immediate impact in their rookie year. When you look at the Raiders and the struggles that they've had the last couple of years running the football, their offensive line has to get better. You've got this quarterback that you brought in from Seattle, Geno Smith. You've got to have a running game. And they have not. They've been at the bottom of the league in rushing the last couple of years. They've got to be able to run the football with some power, with some consistency. That'll set the play action game, something Geno Smith historically has been really good at. So, it's be interesting. I'm looking, I'm hoping, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he winds up in a Raider uniform.
Awesome analyst. You played the sport a long time. You've been in several locker rooms, a ton of locker rooms. Jay Glazer tweeted this during his draft prep, that he said in the years past, players pulled off the board for injury concerns, character concerns, and now they're adding, quote, doesn't love football. Can you tell early on or right away if a young guy could be a bad fit or doesn't love, quote, doesn't love football in your experience in all your years around the sport?
I love Jay. This isn't anything new, though. I mean,
Okay.
Teams look long and hard about, is this a guy, a football guy? Is he all in? If you love, it's one thing to love the lifestyle. It's one thing to love the money. It's one thing to love game days. Does the guy love everything about it? The weight room, the meeting room, the workouts, the off-season conditioning, the sprinting, the lifting the weights, and the injuries and fighting through adversity. I mean, a guy that's all in, great teammate, puts others before himself. I mean, that's really what you're looking for. I mean, when you think about the great ones that I played with or played against, they all had that quality and characteristic. Football was really important to them. And they were historically guys that participated in the off-season program. Almost some of them had perfect attendance. It was really important to them. They were totally committed. And I think, you look at some of these players, you have to do your due diligence. You have to find out, what makes this kid tick. You have to talk to the coaches, talk to the assistant coaches. Problem is, a lot of these players have played in multiple programs. It's not like it was back in the day where a player goes to a school and he's there 4 or 5 years. It's not uncommon nowadays to see a player, a quarterback, that has played for 3 different programs. You have to ask yourself, why is that? Is it because of competition? Is it because of injury? Is it because the player wasn't happy? Is it, there's a lot of research that goes into making sure that you get the right guy when you hand in that pick to Roger Goodell.
Is there another player like on the opposite side of the field that you maybe have studied or looked at, defensive lineman that you would fear, a cornerback that you think is outstanding, somebody that, and because we're going to get a lot of defensive linemen tonight and probably a couple of defensive backs as well, but anybody on that side who you're like, oh my God, that player probably has a chance to be really, really good?
Oh, there's so many of them. I mean, I hate to single out. I just think that when you look at this draft, I mean, I think there's a lot of difference makers in this draft. I think there's some corners that can really play. I think there's some safeties that can come down and be, 4-down players, guys that can play down around the line of scrimmage, guys that have the versatility to be pressure players. I think there's some really good pass rushers. We talked a little bit about Abdul Carter. I just think this is going to be an exciting draft. I just think there's you look at those first 2 rounds, and there's a lot of really good quality players. Some teams have already been busy in free agency addressing some of those needs. Some teams have to circle back around. But I just look at the teams picking at the top of the draft, and there's a reason why they're there, what seems like almost every year. And if you don't have that quarterback, and it's just a bad business to be in. And I look at teams like the Giants, the Jets, the Browns, the Tennessee Titans, the Raiders, they've got a quarterback, but, I look what the Packers have done for years, and they always, even when they had Brett Favre, they were looking. Even when they had Aaron Rodgers, they were looking. Even when they had Jordan Love, they've been looking. You have to always look for that diamond in the rough.
Hey, Rich, we have like 90 seconds left. How much stock do you put into, because we hear a lot about this leading into the draft. For example, Kellen Moore, first-year head coach with the Saints, offensive mind. Aaron Glenn, first-year head coach with the Jets, defensive mind. They want to look to the position that they played or that side of the field that they played, first-round pick. Like, should we weigh that a lot more, or is it pretty much like baked into what we think about these teams anyway?
I think it's a huge mistake. I think I just remember Rex Ryan. It always seemed like every time the Jets were picking, he was trying to find a defensive player. You've got to take the best player available. You've got to take players that fit your culture, your environment, players that fit your scheme. You know, the good coaches have the ability to adapt and adjust, to tweak their system a little bit to fit the need of a quarterback or a skill player or a pass rusher. But you know, you have to have that, and you have to have a game plan going in. And I think there's some teams that do a much better job in the preparation. Some teams do a much better job in vetting these players. And some teams have a history where they have, you know, had a lot of success. Other teams, not so much. Look at the Raiders draft the last 10 years. It's been horrible.
Yes.
Horrible.
Yeah, you're spot on. Rich, we love talking to you. Enjoy the draft tonight. Thank you for the time.
Enjoy it. Thanks.
You're the best.
There
Awesome.
you go.
Love that.
Prime Time's going to follow us, by the way. 4 hours of live draft coverage with Matt Humans, Tim Murray, Matt Brown. Following them, it's Cashing Out, an entire draft edition, recapping everything with Joe Serralo. Tomorrow on our program, we will recap a lot of the stuff that's going to come in. Who knows? We might have a couple of bangers that still cash tonight early on.
Hope so.
Florida Panthers 1-0.
4 minutes in.
First 5 scored.
Yep. Panthers did it. Wow. This is something.
I haven't bet them yet. I want to bet the Wild, and I want to bet the Pistons tonight.
Okay. Tatum, doubtful for Game 3. Kobe Bryant's debut jersey sold for $7 million. And how about the other news? Go ahead. Defensive Player of the Year? You okay?
Evan Mobley. Good job, voters.
How about who was second?
Dyson Daniels. He finished closer, I think, to first than Wemby did last year. What a travesty. Every year with that stupid award.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.